Hello students, welcome to SKT online classes. Today we will be studying about private, public and global enterprise. Now, in my previous videos, we have discussed about private organizations or private enterprises. Now, what were private enterprises? Proprietorship, partnership, joint Hindu family business. Then we have also discussed about cooperative society and the bigger most joint stock company, whether private limited or public limited. All these are falling under private sector. Then what are government sectors or public sector enterprise? So public sector enterprises are those organizations where government holds either 51% or more than 51% or maybe entire 100%. It is of the government. Government controls and manages their enterprise, and the main motive is not to earn profit like private sectors. Here, the formation is done for the purpose of social work. I would not say social work, but for the betterment of the society. So this is what public sectors are all about. Now, public sector enterprises can be classified into number one, departmental undertakings, number two, statutory corporation or public corporations, and government company. Apart from this, we have in this chapter to discuss about global enterprises, joint venture, public-private partnership. So here we go with the first part, that is departmental undertakings and public corporation or statutory corporation. Now, what are these kind of organizations? Here we need to understand. We need to understand these organizations' merits as well as their demerits. So let me begin with departmental undertaking. Now, what are departmental undertakings? Departmental undertakings are nothing but a part of government. It's a separate department or a part of government. You can better visualize this kind of organization if you go through the examples like Indian Railways or Post and Telegraph Department or post offices in India. These are examples of departmental undertakings. Now, departmental undertakings are a part of government. So, since they are a part of government, they are financed by the government. In the annual budget, a certain amount is devoted towards them. And with this entire fund, they have to manage their fundings. Now, when I say they have to manage, means they cannot raise or they cannot arrange for their own finances, except then waiting for the government to pass or sanction the amount. Apart from this, what departmental undertaking does? Apart from this, departmental undertaking, any revenue if they earn, it will be added to the treasury of the government. That is, since government is giving them money, so they are fully under the control of the government, and government will definitely get the revenue out of these departmental undertakings. So now, apart from this, the employee status in a departmental undertaking is definitely government employees, and along with that, we have various other features like it is a bureaucratic thing, means secrecy can be kept. So there are all the members of these organizations are none other than the member of parliaments, member of legislative assembly. So basically the ministers are a part of departmental undertaking. Now, let us discuss the merits and the demerits of departmental undertaking. Now, when I say about railways, you can definitely visualize about railways and think how they operate. Students, this is a an opinion from my end. Whenever we are studying commerce, commerce is all around us. Commerce is all around us. So do remember to see what are happening in the nearby areas of yours in terms of business perspective. When you are going to a restaurant, collect bill. When you are getting an electricity bill, go through it. See what are the terms that you learn, like rebate or maybe penalty, fine. What are the things you have to gross, net? These things you have to be very alert. You need to understand about budget. You need to understand about how payments are made. What is GST? These things you should definitely go through. All bills must be collected by you and check how exactly it is made. So these are things. So here also, as I said, all the things we should visualize. So if we visualize railways or post offices, we will be able to get a clearer picture about departmental undertakings. So that's the reason we are starting off with the merits. Now, number one, easy formation. Number one merit, easy formation. Now, why is it easy formation? Again, here no further legal registration is required. It is a part of government. Government has created this department. They are managing. So actually, you do not have to, do any kind of compulsory registration under some kind of act, like a joint stock company. You do not have to do anything like that. It is just a department of the government. It is functioning under the supervision of the government. So no need to do any kind of special registration. Next, effective control. Now, the control is in the hands of the government. Because it is completely financed by the government, the what will I say, like the entire control is managed by the government. The entire control is in the hands of the government. So government manages the entire picture. So since government is managing the entire role, so nothing is going beyond the eyes of the government. Government knows exactly what is happening in the organization. So that's the reason effective control is established. If some other people would have had the opportunity to manage the business, then they might have misused certain things. But the question arises, are these people well efficient? We will discuss this later. Next, optimum utilization of funds. Now, the funds that are being provided by the government in the parliament, is not in the parliament, I'm so sorry, the funds which are provided by the government during the budget. So that fund will be properly utilized, because we get to know about the fund right in the beginning. So we also prepare a budget, like a railway prepares a railway budget. So in that budget, they decide how many stations more to build, how many new type of trains to launch, how many more employees to appoint, whom to give what salary or how much increment to be made. All these things are decided by them, but under the supervision of the government. So effective control always remains in the hands of the government, and optimum utilization of fund means the funds are maximum utilized in a proper way, in a channelized way. But if shortage is there, then what is going to happen? That's a question. Next, accountability. Now, accountable. Now, as far as this accountability is depending, now, government, since it's a government undertaking, like departmental undertaking is a government undertaking. So, government's department, it's a government's department. So, government is also always answerable to the public. So, this also, accountability is to the public. Anything goes wrong, whom is the railway department or railways, Indian Railway accountable to? They are accountable to the public. They will be accountable to the public. So public accountability is there in case of departmental undertaking. Next, public revenue. Now, imagine, now this is a question to you all. I generally ask this question when I'm teaching this topic. Now, public revenue. Before I go for this point, I would like to ask you all, tell me, do railways run in profits or not? Comment the answer. In the comment section, you write, yes, railways are running in profits. Or you just write profit or loss. Profit, loss, you write, and I'll get back and I'll maybe discuss in some other video of mine whether railways actually run in profits or losses. And if profit, then why profit? If loss, then why loss? Anyways, now public revenue. Now, any revenue earned by this departmental undertakings gets added back to the treasury of the government. Means the money from where they have given the money, like the government, from the government's money, the money that has been given to the railways or to the post office or to the departmental undertakings. Since they are providing the money, so the revenue earned by these departmental undertakings will also belong to the government. So that's the reason it's an advantage. The public revenue, whatever they earn, will be added to the treasury of the government. And the last point is secrecy. Now, before a nice train like bullet train or Vande Bharat or any new thing, new feature is added, is it hyped like an advertisement? This is coming up, this is coming up, this is coming up. No, it is not. Once it is done, then only it is launched, because these are secret projects. Why will anyone tell you in advance? Government, generally, these undertakings are highly secret because they are sometimes handling very important project that should not be revealed. So that is the reason secrecy is maintained. So with this, I hope all the different merits of departmental undertakings are clear. Now, we would like to move on to the demerits. Now, though demerits are less in number, but there are actually some problem. The biggest problem is formation, control. And this control, if you see, the control is in the hands of the government. If the government is not correct, or if the government may not want the improvement of railways or these undertakings, then what will happen if they would be ignored, if they don't progress anything? Like the current government has actually done a lot for the stations, at least how we see it. But like myself have been to some railway stations earlier and now. Definitely, I can easily compare. The changes are there. Definitely, there are a lot of changes, not only with the cleanliness but also with the kind of decorativeness about the place, but and also the kind of trains that we are getting. It is the civic sense of us human beings who are actually not able to keep it clean. But definitely, so they are actually working, but there was a time when improvement was very slow, the progress was very slow because their focus was some other things. So depending on the government and the control, a lot of things depend. So here we start with the demerits. Number one, inflexibility. Whatever has been decided, you cannot randomly change. There is no flexibility because everything is decided by the government. So without the approval of the government, we do not have the right to make any changes. The approval of the government should be there. Then only the changes can be implemented. So for that reason, students, remember this. There's no flexibility. There's a rather rigidity because the government has to give permission. So you cannot make any changes while on the go. Even if you find something great, you have to wait until the government. And the government once decided this will be done, this will be done. You cannot make changes again and again. So there's a lack of, we can say here you can see administrative autonomy. This is lacking here. There's no autonomy on the basis of administration. You cannot make any changes without informing government or without taking prior permission from the government. Next, lack of motivation. Now, what will be the motivation? In such situation, in such organization, what is the motivation? There's no motivation of profit. If the workers or the employees are really putting their efforts to make it a better situation, what will happen to them? They will not get any credit or any recommendation for it. So at the end of the day, they are just going to get the basic increment and the salary. So nobody is bothered about making the things lucrative manner. They will be transferred, they will be promoted as per the norms of the government. So nothing that if they do well, there will be a certain change. So since there won't be any certain change, so nobody is motivated. There's a lack of motivation in departmental undertaking. So nobody is willing to take any bold step or initiative. So this is the point. Then next, lack of financial autonomy. Now we need funds. Say our funds have got exhausted or we have our budget had gone wrong. So we need fund. Now we will not be getting fund because fund has already been allocated. Once the fund has been allocated and in the middle, who will give me? I can arrange. I have the capacity. I can arrange it from somebody. But no, you cannot arrange. Government will only provide it to you because you are government's undertaking. So again, this is a big disadvantage. Even if we can arrange, we cannot. Because there's no rule. You cannot arrange for your own finances. And if in the middle you're over, you again have to wait for the next budget to get finances again. So this is a big demerit. That is one of the reasons you will see some of the railway stations are in progress. After many months or years, again the work starts. Because funds were over, mismanagement was done, why a committee was formed, it was going on and on, the trial was going on. So it takes a lot of time. So this is one of the things. Then next is inefficient management. Now here when I was explaining you, the control, remember effective control. Now the control is in the hands of whom? Whoever. Are they effective? Are they efficient? That is the question. They are not. Mostly they are ministers. They are managing a ministry, but the background is not of this. Say, whoever is a railway minister knows basic things about railways, but maybe not an engineer, maybe doesn't know the deep rooted things about railways. Nobody can know. To be very honest, nobody can know. I may be a chartered accountant, so I know about the finance part of the railway, so I can budget and all, I will understand. But what about the engineering part? What about the design of the railway, or whatever things are needed to build a train? How will I understand that part? If I understand this part, then how will I understand the budget part? So it's not possible for anybody, any single person to understand. But if there's a group of ministers who don't know anything, and they are the one who are deciding about everything in the organization or the undertaking, then it will be a big questionable thing. Think about it. So that is one of the biggest reason why inefficient management we say, because the people who are there in the management are mostly ministers, and they are not very capable of managing the entire internal operational structure. They can manage, definitely. They have contacts, they have sources. They will be definitely doing that part, but with the help of people whom like are called IRS. With the help of them, they are managing things, but they are not that good as manager. Otherwise this wouldn't have been there as a demerit. So there's a lot of problems with departmental undertakings, and we have to understand this part. So this is the fourth one, and the last is red tapeism and bureaucracy. Now what is red tapeism? Red tapeism is nothing but basically a decision. You have to understand, it's a decision taking time. Like for a proprietor it is so easy. You decide right now, you take the decision right now. If you go and listen to the proprietorship video, there's a merit, quick decision making. In that, I have given an example. If you refer to that example, you will see that a decision can be taken then and there. But here, one small decision might end up taking 3 months or 2 months, or maybe less than this, or maybe more than this. So imagine one small decision. When can this decision be taken? Only when a few things will be formed, only when a meeting will be conducted. It is not, I will call the boss, sir, this is a problem, what to do, and will be given an answer. It cannot be done in that way. So unnecessary delay takes place. That is red tapeism. And bureaucracy, it is all in the hands of the bureaucrats. Bureaucrats are the government officials. So if you give it to them, motivation is where. They are not expert or skilled in their work. They are ministers. Again and again, they are ministers. So they might have idea. That is the reason we must appoint educated ministers. That's the reason we always say, who have idea, and they should be given the that particular ministry. So these are the things. So anyways, there are 6 merits and 5 demerits which have been discussed here. Anything related to this, if you have any question, if you want to know something, even within this topic, beyond this topic, related to this topic, you can put it in the comment section and I'll definitely get back. So with this, we complete departmental undertakings, and I hope this part is clear to you all. Now we move on to the next part. Like departmental undertaking, there's another type of public sector unit, that is public corporation or statutory corporation. Now what are this? I've given an example also, like RBI, LIC. Now before I move on to this, let me tell you what exactly this is. Now, this type of organization is formed by passing a special act in the parliament. The formation of such organization is done to bring a change in the economy, or rather to bring a different flow or different direction in the economy. For example, RBI. Why is RBI formed? What is the reason? What does RBI do? Apart from, monopoly of issuance of currency notes, it is governing the entire banking system in the country. RBI is managing it is a banking regulation of the country. It is the apex of all the bank. So, such type of bank, when was formed, it was not formed just like that. It was formed by passing a special act in the parliament, and that act defines all the objectives and powers of the statutory corporation. So when we are talking about the statutory corporation, like we have discussed about Cooperative Societies Act, 1912. So that Cooperative Societies Act is defining all the rules and regulations regarding cooperative society. Similarly, the Act of Parliament, which has been passed for public corporation, formation of public corporation or statutory corporation, will define all the rules and regulations, all the legal aspects, and all the powers and objectives of a statutory corporation. Now, when you talk about statutory corporation, now the first being administrative autonomy. Now, since it is formed by passing a special act in the parliament, so that act defines the powers. The act defines how these kind of organizations will manage their day-to-day functioning. So this is not depending exactly on how government decides to. This is the best part of statutory corporation. Now, statutory corporation has administrative autonomy. Administrative autonomy means who will be under who is going to do what work. These kind of work will be decided by the organization itself. Like the statutory corporation will decide that on themselves, but they are not going to discuss this with the government. Government has no role to play here. But in the next one, if you see quick decision, why quick decision? Again, the same reason. Quick decision because they do not have to seek permission for everything from the government. So this saves a lot of time. Since this is saving a lot of time, we are getting this as a merit quick decision. The next one, service motive. Now, why are we saying this as a service motive? Because all the matters of public corporation will be presented in front of the parliament. So in the parliament, the discussions will be done on a public corporation. Now, since it will be done in the form of discussion in the parliament, so definitely it is being done by the ministers for the betterment of the public. So that is the reason we are calling it service motive. And as we know, as we discussed in the beginning only, that departmental undertaking or public corporation, they are not for the purpose of making profit, but they are here to provide a lot of service in this segment to the general public. Next, efficient staff. Now, why are the staff efficient? Because here also the same thing. They are getting these jobs based on certain examinations by doing some kind of training that has been decided by them. Since the administrative autonomy is under the statutory corporation, since they have the administrative autonomy, they have decided what the staff should know or how the staff should be trained. So on that basis, they have selected the staff and trained them. So that is the reason the staff is more efficient. Next is professional management. Now you can decide on who is going to be a part in the management based on their profession. Based on the profession, of course, you can appoint a chartered accountant. Of course, you can appoint a lawyer. Of course, you can appoint a engineer. Whoever you need, you can form the management. But whatever I said, is it true? Does a public corporation actually has such a rosy effect, a rosy picture? Let me come here. The first demerit, let me begin with the demerit and let me tell you the first demerit. Autonomy on paper only. What does this point means? Autonomy on paper only. It means that such autonomy is only on papers. Actual thing happens is government do interfere. Government do interfere. It should not be done on papers. As for papers, it should not be done. But actually government does interfere in each and everything. Suppose one government is there, now the government changes. So don't you think so? Some kind of change will take place. The earlier government made some rules regarding the economical things. This government will make some changes over there. So again, the things will be different. So that's the reason autonomy on paper only. Actually, the ministers and the government, the state control will definitely be there. So this is a demerit. Next, lack of initiative. Again, what is the point of taking initiative? Though you have a motive here, if you are service motive, if you are efficient staff, you may be promoted, but it cannot be done. Ultimately, those people who will be always saying yes men or yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, those people will be preferred. So people who are related to government official, government ministers, they are the ones who will be always in the forefront. They are the ones who will be actually promoted. So if this happens, then will other people feel motivated to work? So that is the reason you see lack of initiative. Nobody is going to take any initiative. Whatever role has been assigned to you, it's a permanent job. You keep doing and doing. You will not take initiative to do anything better. Whatever rules come from the central or the state, you have to follow that. So ultimately, this is a demerit. Then next is rigid structure. Now, why rigid structure? Because in the beginning only we discussed that this has been managed by the special act or the parliament. So the act defines the powers and objectives. So everything is based on the act. Now, suppose something is very poor in the act, that should be changed. So it cannot be changed because it has already been passed in the parliament. Now to make a change, a special resolution has to be passed in the parliament. So the approval of all members will be needed. So if the approval is not granted by all the members, a change cannot be made. So since a change cannot be made, that is the reason we are calling it rigid structure. Suppose I know if I do this particular work, we will benefit. But we cannot do this work as it is not mentioned in the act. We cannot do it. So this is a rigidity. Because of the rigidness of the act, I cannot make any change. So this is rigid structure. And the last is unfair practices. Sometimes these people, for their own influence and benefit, do unfair trade practice. Like for example, demonetization, we all know. Like RBI's example only I'm giving. Demonetization, we all know. The plates are supposed to be managed by them under the government's control, but it was leaked. Because of that, demonetization was the best part or best thing to do at that time. So if demonetization wouldn't have happened, then today also we would have had a lot of duplicate notes. How am I saying it? It's not based on any kind of propaganda or anything, but I am telling this because I have myself faced a duplicate note many a times. 500 rupee duplicate note. I'm trying to deposit money in the bank. They are returning back and they're tearing it also. They are not taking it. So my money is going just like a waste. So many people have lost so much of money. Imagine for poor people. So unfair practices do happen. One of the examples. So with this, we are completing the entire public corporation, their merits and demerits. So again, I would like to say, if you have any questions, if you have any kind of query, anything you want to know beyond the topic, also related to the topic, definitely, you can put it in the comment section and I'll definitely get back. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next video with government companies and global companies. For anything else, if you want to know, do put it in the comment section. And if you like this video, please subscribe our channel, comment, like and share the video. Thank you.